Hey there, I'm Tyler and welcome back to the channel. The shed didn't exactly look like this, but the kids did begin to help me out with some demo the other day and started knocking some of the shed down. This was just painted OSB previously. I haven't painted it since we bought the house, and at the bottom there you can see some water damage. We're going to tear the whole thing down. It is on a slab, so we want to reuse that again, and we're going to reuse the 4x4 vertical structure so we don't have to pull anything out of the ground. We're going to go with T111. We're going to have an awesome polycarbonate light strip on the top there from Onduline, as well as a beautiful red Onduline roof to match everything else we have around the property. This video has been sponsored by Onduline North America and Carolina Shoe. As you can clearly see behind me, unfortunately, there's no 4x4s left in the ground, and that is because those 4x4s and that entire shed was never built even remotely right. I'm surprised it stood up to the 70-mile-an-hour wind we had the other day. Long story short, we need to set some new posts. Not really what I wanted to do, but we will get it done. I've got a layout of the new post that I want. We're going to get on this before it gets too hot today because it is going to be a toasty day. Basically, we're going to span this slab and we'll backfill in anything on the inside with some 21 AA. I've got this first post set behind us right here, and last night it was dusk enough that I could use the laser, but I can't see it right now, just like you guys probably can't see the string that I have laid out right here, so I can get that back post in place. Once we got those two, we can work our way away from them, making sure everything is square, and get all of these posts set. 12-foot post going 42 inches into the ground, is that overkill? Apparently in Michigan, you don't actually have to go that deep for this square footage of a shed, but definitely check with your local ordinance. I want to go 42 inches down because I don't want this thing to move. So I got a 12-footer in here going 42 inches down, one bag of dry concrete going into the hole. We'll pour some water in there, mix it up, and then pack it with dirt on the top.
So far, and I do not. Every morning, we'll go get the tractor and then do stuff. What? The thing is doing kind of.
Super sketchy, but I got the laser up on the ladder, and it is equal to the lowest pole that I have right at the top there, which is actually about 1.5 inches taller than I had in the plans, but I have the boards to take care of this. As you can see, that is not my line. That's my laser line right there. It is just dusky enough that I can actually pick that up right now, so it is a perfect time to put up these purlins. Whoops, it's still square. We got half of the first row of purlins on there. I'm going to put 3. One of them is going to be 18 inches down and the other one's going to be 55 inches down. And then there will be a pressure treated strip on the bottom, but I'm going to put that on last. I'm going to do all the top, lower it, do that whole ring, lower it again, do the whole ring so I don't have to keep moving the laser, which is very precarious right there. I would always recommend checking your dimensional lumber from the store because these are 12 footers, but they're actually 12 1/4. So you want to make sure you're not throwing all of your posts out of whack by stretching things to fit what you think is a 12-foot board. So make sure you check all of your lumber. It is time to make some trusses. Of course, we're going to do them ourselves here. I got my little drawing right here. We need one 12-footer and two 8-foot 2x4s to make this. And I've already cut out my little plywood, or these are OSB sections that'll go and fasten everything together. We're going to use some tight and some wood screws. This is the second truss I'm putting together. I built one and verified it, and I actually put some marks on the garage floor so I know where everything needs to go, so we make them the same every time.
Beep. Beep, beep, beep.
I added those middle 4x4s in the other day. That was always the plan, but they don't go 42 inches into the ground like the rest of them because they are over the slab. I noticed that my top 2x6 had dipped a little bit when I was looking at it from the deck, so we're gonna fix that right now. This is the 4x4 that I added. Like you can see here, I just removed it, and I'm gonna use a Bessie clamp to spread this apart. And as you can see, I can lift that. And I did just take a walk over there, and this is perfectly flat again, and I am very happy with that.
Yep.
Here we go. It is time to do a little bit of siding on the shed. I drove it back in the truck right here so I can cut it right out of the truck bed. Because we are perfectly level on all of these purlins, all the measurements should be the same. I will check them. And I'm going to start with the difficult side by the chicken coop over there and work my way around this way. I will film the easier portion for you guys. I am starting with the siding here so that I can put it up and then paint it. And then we'll do the roof, and then we'll do the light panel on here as well. Okay, push it in with your knee. Hold it. Push. There you go. Put it under there. Too far away. So it's just getting dusky enough that I can actually see the laser during the daylight here. Super sketchy, but I'm now going to screw off all of the siding using the laser so that I don't have to look at uneven screws later on. So I took measurements and built this door casing in the shop. Let's see if it fits. Math is cool. It is time for the roof, and this is very exciting because it is going to look fabulous with a new paint job, red roof, white panels going right here. As you know, one of the video sponsors today is Onduline North America, and I am using their Ondura panels for the roof and their Tuftex panels for the light panel on the side and the back. We got to cut some of these down to put a 1 foot strip on the bottom, and then we can put a full piece going up to the ridge cap. And we got the closure strips, we got the red screws, we got everything. It's going to look fantastic, and I think it's going to go up fairly quickly. You can find these Onduline products at your local Lowe's Home Improvement Center. These red Ondura panels are actually their second generation, which is called the Ondura Premium Series. The color is a little bit different, and they've made some improvements that I talk about later in the video. You can find these at your local home center on August 17th, 2020. We got our first short piece screwed off. The screws go through those closure strips to make sure you don't compact everything too much. And right here, I have allowed one corrugation overlap, and that is because there's going to be some J channel that goes up into the inside here instead of putting drip edge, because we're going to have that light panel on the back, as you can see right there. My next piece laid up over the top, and there are some embossments right there so you know how much you want to overlap. This is the generation 2.0 of the Ondura product. I used the original over there on the swing set in the Playhouse back in the day, and the biggest difference I've noticed so far is that they have hex head screws instead of Phillips. What an awesome difference. You can start them one-handed so much better. Yep, the orange one. Joe, thank you. So the first row needs a screw in every corrugation. Then I'm going to go in the middle of the embossment here. We need one on the edge, obviously. And then we'll go every other one. And then when we start the next one, the overlap needs one as well. So we'll have two screws right next to each other, and then we'll be able to skip from there. It'll look exactly the same as the pattern we have here. So we need to do the same thing on each of the purlins. We won't do the top because the top will get a ridge cap like you see over there running this way. I do want to point out a mistake that I'm making right here. These closure strips should not go under the Ondura panels. They should go on top of the Ondura panels, but under the ridge cap that I'm installing right now. I remember doing this on the first Ondura project that I did, like you can see right here. Just make sure you do that if you're doing an Ondura project of your own. Alright, I needed a quick break to get some iced tea. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to tell you about the other sponsor of the video today, which is Carolina Shoe. These are Carolina Shoe. These are their hiking/work boots. They have an aluminum toe in them. They are fantastic in the summertime because they're not quite as hot as boots, but being on that ladder is a little bit uncomfortable. And my all-time favorite 28s, as you see right here, these have a shunt in the sole, which makes them much more comfortable on a ladder, and the heel will allow me to hook on those rafters a little bit more safely. Right now, until October 31st, if you use the code DIY30 on select boots, you will get 30% off. That's pretty amazing. DIY30, link in the description below, will take you over to Carolina. My favorite boots of all time. Every pair of shoes that I have are Carolinas now. Highly recommend them. These are the Tuftex polycarbonate panels that I will be using for the light panels on this shed. They come in multiple different colors that you can get at Lowe's. I do want to make a note here that the first time cutting through these Tuftex panels with the circular saw, I went full depth and it was a little bit sketchy. The blade did like to catch, as you can see with the offcut pieces by my foot there. When I go back and cut the angled pieces later on, I actually do it in 3 passes, and this was much smoother. I would highly recommend taking multiple passes for a cleaner and safer cut. To trim out and finish these corners, I have glued and screwed together 2 1x3s. They're already painted, and I am just going to smash down this last layer of the Tuftex here. So make sure you have that cut to the proper dimension, and then we're just going to use a couple screws. Take a quick second and show you how well the light diffuses in here with these white Tuftex panels. Absolutely spectacular. It would be very dark in here without them. The sun obviously is up over the trees back over here, but it looks great. This thing holds. Would you look at that? Definitely got to add some blocks behind there. Very nice. I don't have a terrible lot to say. It's very nice. I'm very, very happy with the results of this project. I did not cut any corners. Everything is perfectly level, perfectly square. And it is going to really, really stink for someone to tear that barn apart with all those screws that I put in there. That will not be a fun project for the next person. But this bad boy is going to last a long, long time. Plenty of room in there. We actually have had like 4 days solid of pretty heavy duty rain, and it's dry as a bone in there. So the Onduline roofing and the light panels on the side there are working fantastic. Again, thanks to Carolina and Onduline for sponsoring this video. Links to their stuff down in the description below, as well as some new merch you might be seeing here. Got a level-headed t-shirt with a hat on the back. New hats, Robertson, a little bit cooler for the summer. All that stuff linked below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hammer that thumbs up button, as it helps us out and gets this video in front of more eyes so we can do more big projects like this. I'm DIYTyler, and you guys have a good one.